you enjoy my content, subscribe, but if you don't, then don't subscribe to me. And our next story today comes from the YouTuber and streamer known as Pokimane. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys know what happened a couple days ago, but if you don't know what happened here, Pokimane reacted to a commentary YouTuber's video. This guy's name is Gundam. He made a video talking about Pokimane's simp fans, and it was a joking video, and people really enjoyed this video. Pokimane decided to react to this on her stream, and she even went after Gundam's own sponsorships here on her stream. Just watch this.
And I will say, for this company to sponsor a video that's literally 20 minutes of talking shit about me, you will never see. Dude, your website's so ass it won't even load. But if you ever reach out to me, if I ever see you in my inbox, on site. On fucking site. Like, no company should do that just about ever. Oh, is this a video where some random dude behind a VR machine calls a girl a thought for 20 minutes? Really want to put my logo on that one.
So the YouTuber who Pokimane went after in this video came out with his own response to Pokimane today on YouTube, and he claims here that because of Pokimane talking about this on her stream, apparently he has lost a sponsorship so far. Just watch this.
And the sad thing is, I didn't walk away from this unscathed. I had a sponsorship kind of lined up with like a big video game company. Let's just say they're big enough that E3, they had their own press conference and special presentations. Yeah, that kind of went. So I hope you're happy, folks.
Yesterday, H3H3 Productions revealed something he's been working on for a long time now in secret, like the fucking Manhattan Project of YouTube drama exposed videos. He released the content nuke on Keemstar. It's 46 minutes of high-octane, full-throttle, nuts-to-butts drama action, and I'll say it's one of the only 40-plus minute exposed videos I was able to watch start to finish without falling asleep. However, it is still just a lot of things that have been covered for years. Everything Ethan talks about is shit people have shit on Keemstar for years, so there's no new information in the video. It's kind of just like an anime lore explanation video for this anime character of Keemstar, like an episode recap. Here's what happened previously on Keemstar being an asshole. Ethan's basically just compiled all the big Keemstar douchebag moments and put them into this video compendium. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that weren't familiar with some of the shit he's done in his past, and Ethan just brought it to their attention. It's just for me personally, since I love to keep up with internet drama and squabbles between internet people, I would have liked to see something new from Ethan. Like maybe Ethan finds a director's cut of Cats that has Keemstar acting in it, and then he exposes Keemstar for being a bad actor and having poor taste in picking the movies he's in. But again, there's nothing wrong with it still just being things that have been covered in the past. The reason I'm even talking about it right now isn't so much because I care about Ethan and Keemstar having internet beef. It's actually what I think Ethan did that I think sets a terrible precedent for the entire platform going forward and could lead to a disastrous future. In Ethan's content nuke, he mentions Keemstar's sponsor G Fuel 8 times, constantly saying things like, "Why is G Fuel sponsoring you? They shouldn't be sponsoring you. This is kind of fucked up that you still have sponsors. How is this possible?" Just implying that he needs to lose his sponsorship with G Fuel, you know? So by implying these things, Ethan ignited his fan base to spam G Fuel, forcing them to drop Keemstar, which happened. G Fuel did drop Keemstar, and people went wild in celebration. It was like the end of Star Wars Phantom Menace. They had like this huge fucking parade, medals were given out because they defeated Keemstar, at least financially. They got rid of his biggest sponsor that he's had for many years. And a lot of people say, you know what, yeah, it is a slimy tactic, because it is. Going after someone's sponsors and employment, that is such a fucked up, low tactic. That's shit you see those Karen, middle-aged Karens on Twitter doing when they have an argument with someone where they start contacting the employer of the person they're arguing with, trying to get them fired. It's the same tactic that Ethan and his fan base have done to Keemstar. And a lot of people say, yeah, it is kind of fucked up, but it's Keemstar, so we're fine with it. And you shouldn't be. Yeah, Keemstar's done a ton of fucked up shit that definitely deserves consequences, but taking it into your hands as like the arbiter of justice to spam his advertisers to get him to drop them, you don't see how that could be used against you? It's like the same thing for people who are constantly begging for the government to censor the internet because there's things they don't like on it. It's a very slippery slope that can get out of control very quickly. So sticking with Keemstar losing G Fuel. Well, him losing G Fuel wasn't enough for the bloodlust of the fan base. Now on the subreddit, they're taking action against Spotify because Keemstar's on Spotify, so now they're lobbying and spamming Spotify to drop Keemstar, another one of his big advertisers. So you see what's happening, right? What Ethan has done is he's given power to the fan base to ruin anyone's career. And what this does is that tells everyone else on YouTube with a following they can do the same thing because these advertisers are going to cave to pressure. It's very similar to the most recent YouTube adpocalypse where Matt got a bunch of people together to contact advertisers on YouTube and telling them to drop, which they eventually did, and that fucked a ton of YouTubers and destroyed a lot of YouTube careers. It's the same thing, but now done on an individual level we haven't seen before. Let me tell you exactly how this could go. What Keemstar could do, Keemstar could ignite his fan base to spam Ethan's advertisers with Gokanaru's video, The Death of H3H3. In this video, YouTuber Gokanaru does a ton of research and has a very long and thorough video that paints Ethan in the worst light possible. He has a bunch of clips where Ethan's casually saying the N-word, saying some other heinous shit, and doing some things that advertisers might not like. If Keemstar gets his fan base to spam Ethan's advertisers with that, and the pressure's enough, they could drop Ethan. Same way G Fuel just did to Keemstar, the same tactic. What Ethan's done is he's opened up this extremely dangerous can of worms. Now, I'm not here defending Keemstar. I'm not trying to white knight him and be his chat mod, deleting mean messages and licking the piss off of his toilet seat. And I hate that I even have to clarify that. I think it's pretty clear that I'm not defending Keemstar, but the internet's already going in this way where if you don't agree with everything Ethan did in his video, all of his methods, then you're just defending Keemstar and you're a bad person. I'm saying what's happened to him and what Ethan has started is extremely bad for anyone on the internet. I'll use something from Ethan's video for an example. In Ethan's video, he talked about the time Keemstar falsely accused a RuneScape streamer named Tony of being a pedophile. Well, let's say Keemstar never made that mistake back then. Let's say he made that mistake tomorrow. Tomorrow, Keemstar says, this RuneScape streamer named Tony is a pedophile. And then people hear that, and now with what Ethan has shown them, they say, well, that's fucked up. It's time for justice. So they start reporting that Tony is a pedophile to Twitch, to RuneScape, and to Tony's advertisers and spam the shit out of him until all three drop him, and now Tony has lost everything even though he's done nothing wrong, just because Keemstar made a mistake and his fan base went behind it and started spamming. That's what Ethan has set in motion. Whether the information is right or wrong, whether the person deserves it or not, most people seem to agree that Keemstar deserved it, but this can absolutely happen to someone that truly doesn't deserve it by any possible measure. Ethan's like the Prometheus who brought fire to YouTube comments. He's shown that if you just weaponize YouTube commenters and get them to rally together and spam these advertisers, they will cave to pressure. Giving that much power to a mob mentality and cancel culture is super dangerous, especially on a platform like YouTube, where a lot of people invest their entire lives into a YouTuber. Like, they make their personal identity just being a super fan of a YouTuber, so when that YouTuber is being attacked or engaging in internet squabbles with another YouTuber, now these people can actually do something super harmful to the other side that they might not deserve, making them lose sponsors. And a lot of YouTubers rely on sponsors because the YouTube ad revenue is super all over the place for a lot of people. You can get 1 million views and get 71 cents. So these people do rely on sponsors for their livelihood, and now what Ethan has shown is that you can fuck that as long as you just have enough people doing it for you. Which, I'm super surprised he even did this tactic. Ethan's always been someone that's championed against the kind of cancel culture dogpiling shit. But I guess for Keemstar, he's decided to make an exception and open Pandora's box. It's silly to think that this is going to be isolated to just Keemstar. That's not how the internet works. If it can happen to one person, it can happen to everyone. There's no world where the internet only uses this weapon one time and against one person. This hopefully won't be commonplace, but now that it's been shown to be effective, I can absolutely see a lot of people on YouTube using this against people they don't like, and that's the worst part. Keep in mind, these companies, they're not the moral police. They're not the fucking hall monitors in the school lobbies making sure people aren't running in the halls or chewing gum. These people don't give a fuck. What they care about is if having that person on their roster as endorsed by that company is hurting their image. And if enough people are telling them this is hurting your image, they're just going to drop them. They're not going to do any research. You can take anything out of context, spin any narrative you want, even without evidence, and get people dropped. It's happened before, just not on like a YouTuber personal level. And your own subreddit's already starting to go down that path. They've already got the big justice boner for fucking Keemstar, so now they've gone to his other advertisers like Spotify. They're trying to deplatform him from Spotify and a lot of other things. Now, how far does that go? Will they now start trying to deplatform and force sponsors out of deals with the people on Twitter that were defending Keemstar? And not even defending Keemstar, just people saying Ethan may have went a little far targeting advertisers. Well, this group that's now going after Spotify and the one that attacked G Fuel, well, they could do that to the people that are now trying to spin Ethan as some kind of bad guy for this. It's just, you can see how it's already starting to snowball into something that could be bad for everyone on the platform. But yeah, overall, the video was entertaining. It served the purpose that Ethan wanted it to serve, but I couldn't help but have this sour taste of ass in my mouth when he kept bringing up the sponsors, clearly making it a point to attack the sponsors without him recognizing the far-reaching consequences that kind of tactic can have, not just to Keemstar, but to innocent people on the platform, and could happen to Ethan as well. It's just something that could absolutely backfire on everyone. It's just a double-edged dildo that is gonna fuck everyone if this becomes a mainstream approach to things. But who knows, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is a totally one-time thing, but knowing the internet, I just don't see that being the case. So that's all I wanted to talk about, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah.
So this video from Ethan made a lot of support, but there was a lot of people over Twitter who also called out Ethan here for bringing up Etika. Now, if you don't know what happened here, about a year ago, a very well-respected and loved streamer and YouTuber known as Etika passed away. Now, this was an extremely sad moment for the community, and eventually it was confirmed that Etika did commit suicide. He took his own life. And in this video, Ethan brings up a bunch of Keemstar's comments and his interview with Etika before this actually happened.
3 days later, Keemstar is tagging Etika and putting as much tension on him as possible. Retweet if you want an interview with Etika. And then people start giving him shit in the comments. Leave him alone. Give him some time to rest. Suck a dick. I run a news channel. I'm going to get my viewers the news. I don't give a fuck about your fake social justice warrior emotions on Twitter for attention. This really shows how Keemstar views Etika more as a commodity than a person. Keemstar's channel performance is way more important than the well-being of Etika.
But a lot of YouTubers came out today and defended Keemstar on this and said that it was wrong for Ethan to bring up Etika in this video at all. Now, Etika's ex-girlfriend known as Alice tweeted out saying, "Really sad to see people blaming Keemstar again. He was in no way responsible for Etika's actions." Let's think about it some more. One of Etika's goals was to be on Drama Alert because he respected that man. They were friendly behind the scenes. Desmond was actually unwell and sick. I know he helped attract a lot of negative attention. It's just really hard to explain to Desmond's fans that our boy was literally mentally unwell, that the reason for it goes so much deeper than cyberbullying. It's really hard to do because he's not there to defend himself. So in short, I understand why Keem's past makes it really hard for others to change that opinion, so don't go thinking that I'm trying to make a divide between those who like and unlike him. This is just my take on the situation. This is the most difficult conversation to have. Please don't think I'm trying to absolve Keem of the wild shit he has said. Now, the YouTuber, a kid behind a camera, this is the guy behind the Angry Grandpa show on YouTube, he tweeted this out at Keemstar. Just watch this.
But I want to tell a quick story. When my father passed away, Keemstar called me. He was one of the first people to call me. And he told me that he was sorry that my father passed away and he was a legend. And if there was anything he could do, let him know. And of course, you know, you're like, oh, of course, you know, I'm fine. Thanks for calling. And I told him that I wasn't going to go to my own father's funeral. I wasn't going to go because I wasn't mentally prepared for that. And Keem kept telling me, Michael, you can't miss your father's funeral. You have to go to it. You're going to regret it for the rest of your life. And this is the kind of guy Keemstar is. To keep me from missing my own father's funeral, he came to it. He wasn't going to come to the funeral. You know, he's a busy man. He does a lot. But he took the first flight out the next morning to Charleston. And he came to the funeral just so I would go.
Now, the YouTuber Boogie298 had a different perspective on this. He tweeted out saying, "One more thing on Keemstar. Yes, last summer when I was suicidal, he added me to a chat and tried to help. But after he realized his advice of just stop being sad didn't work, he got quickly frustrated. He called me weak. He said I faked my mental illness. No love lost." So you have lots of YouTubers and streamers coming out with their own opinions on Keemstar and Drama today over Twitter. And Keemstar himself is going to be responding to Ethan Klein tomorrow. He tweeted out saying, "Fuck Ethan Klein, I will be responding." And he says it's going to be a two-part response, and part one of Etika is coming out tomorrow. Now, a huge update just came out from this story. It looks like G Fuel might have actually dropped Keemstar here. That's right, for some reason, if you go to Keemstar's page on G Fuel, it says 404 not found. And then it looks like they took Keemstar off of their branding on the website. They've completely removed him off of everything here. So if this is really the case, then H3H3 could have actually gotten Keemstar's sponsors taken away. So here's the thing.
Talk to Etika about jumping off a cliff. Etika jumped off a bridge to his death. Homie, you more than implied that Keem was responsible for what happened to Etika.
Keemstar's greatest moment comes when he asks Etika in a manic state, why doesn't he just jump off a cliff?
If you really think about it, then why live? Just jump off a cliff. Just jump off a cliff. If it's just a simulation, who cares?
Of course, hypothetical, but it is quite a coincidence when you consider that only 51 days later, that very same YouTuber jumped off a bridge to his death.
Ethan, you are a piece of fucking garbage. Garbage. And on top of it, you're a fucking hypocrite. You go on through your videos saying, about all this mental health, and Keemstar had a lot of bad takes, which I did. Trust me, I had a lot of bad takes about mental health, and my opinions have changed throughout the years. But then, as you act on your high horse, you completely forget when FouseyTube was having his mental breakdown, you did a whole podcast roasting him over it.
Is he, I mean, I can't tell if he's just like cracked out.
No.
Or if he's just on a manic rampage.
I think, it seems very manic.
Yeah.
It seems very manic.
Training bra. You got a training bra on for some luscious breasts you've been growing. I mean, look at this frame. Dude, this is straight out of like a horror movie. Like, are you in my basement right now, Fousey? You might be thinking to yourself, he's like over him. Drake's sleeping in his bed. Fousey's like hovering over him. You might think this is a little strange, Drake. But this is God's plan for me to murder you right now. Clearly acting's not working out for you, dog. That was a pretty corny read.
Fucking hypocrite. You've always been a goddamn hypocrite. You used to call me out for making Jake Paul videos when you made Jake Paul videos. The other day, you tried to roast me on Twitter like a month ago. You tried to roast me for my hoodie. You said I looked like a 12-year-old. And then the whole internet had to remind you and roast you. This is how you dress. It was just absolutely hilarious. It's always a big swing and a miss, and this entire video is a big swing and a miss. In fact, in the next video, I'm going to address every single other bullshit you've taken out of context. I'm going to address you literally turning the guy who swatted me and swatted my mods on stream into a victim, which... one of the best researchers on the whole goddamn YouTube, the platform is Gamer for Mars, who literally DM'd me this. In disbelief that you use that. I'm going to address every single thing. And another thing you did in this video is an absolute first for YouTube. You went after my sponsors. If you think the YouTube community is happy with you right now, you got to be out of your mind. You have ushered in this new era where people that have beefs on each other go after their sponsors. Like, this has never happened before, but it's happening now. It's happening now. And you did that. You started this. And because of all the hate that G Fuel recently got from your stupid fucking video, I got in contact with them. I'm no longer with G Fuel anymore. I walked away. They don't deserve to have fucking hate because of our beef. Attica's fans don't need to relive this bullshit. It's always lies, deception, manipulation, clips out of context, spinning a fucking narrative that just isn't true. Towards the end of your video, you act like a victim. Like, oh, the big bad Keemstar has been after me forever and it's had a huge toll on my mental health. You said, thank God I have the support group around me. Well, I have a support group around me, and I can't wait for you to see them because they're really pissed off at that video you uploaded for multiple goddamn reasons. Good luck, Ethan, because you're going to fucking need it.